Hello guys, I'm back. My name is Jeferson Costa. I'm a chemical process engineer with expertise in plant design, and welcome to the Jefferson 9 a.m. series. In this series, I share with you everything that you must know to work with plant design. And today is a very special day for me because it is my birthday. I was born on May 22nd, and I get this date to celebrate the 1 year my YouTube channel 1 year of existence with regular content. So if you forward or look for the videos, we have at least 1 year with constant video every week, new videos, sometimes more than that. And it's a very special day to me. And as you know, I would like to know where you're from. I am from Brazil, and it's always very rewarding to know how far my message reach people around the world. So please share with me where you're from in the comments, in the chat, in the YouTube. And I have here at my right side the chat of the YouTube. So if you have questions, I will do my best to answer the questions. And today, as a special live session, I will share with you some topics, in fact, 5 topics or 5 themes that I would like to have learned 10 years ago, because I am pretty sure if I have learned about them, how important they would be to my career, I would be much more known today, and I would have much more success in my path as a chemical process engineer in plant design, in my journey. So thanks guys for being here. Cassie Beatriz, thanks for being here and for the alert about the audio. Hello Ganti, thanks for being here also. Thanks for the greetings. Thanks a lot. So guys, as a special live session, I will share with you also a little bit about my career, how I start my career, and today I am here in the internet sharing my expertise. And during this story, I will share with you the 5 topics that I really believe that if in my graduation time I would get involved with that, I understood how important it would be for my career. I would have avoided some difficulties or some challenge in my life. So to start with, I finished my graduation on 2015, ending of 2015, beginning of 2016. And as many of you, I didn't have a job as a chemical process engineer, any kind of job as a chemical process engineer. I finished my graduation, and at that time I worked as a attendant in a drugstore for a municipal government. And because of my behavior, or because I think that the main reason for that was because of my behavior, the way that I dealt with people. I was very shy, so I did not get a trainee in a company during my graduation. I had difficult to talk to people, to express my message, to not my feelings, because it's not about feeling in the trainee selection, but about how to express my idea in a clear way for the recruiter choose me as the best candidate. My grades was not it was not the top grades. I never worry about having the top grades in the university. My finish my last or my grades, the average grades was 7.5, 7.6 from 0 to 10. So I was a regular plus student, but when you are in the graduation, when you are starting your career, companies, especially here in South America, they are not worried, too much worried, at least, about your grades. They are worried, or they are interested on how you interface with people, how you express your message, how you express yourself. So the first topic that I would like to share with you that is very, very important to you understand in your graduation phase, or if you are starting your career, or even though you are already a fashion engineer or experienced engineer, is about expose yourself to the public. That is very, very important in my point of view. If I have understood that at the early stages, now I would have much more, it would be much more easy to me to talk to you in the front of the camera, and I would get other positions that I lose during my journey as a chemical process engineer. So my tip to you is invest in oratory. You can see I am not a teacher. I did not learn how to teach people. What I share with you is my experience as a friend or as a mentor. And in fact, I don't reserve some time to do a course on oratory. I'm doing this on, like we say, on the job, to share with you. And as much as I talk, I believe that more I get expert on that, or less worst I get on that. And that's very, very important to always be practicing. And the sharing information with you in the internet has many, many benefits for everyone. First is that you can get experience from a senior engineer to help you to improve your skills. And in the other hand, as I do that currently, I do that regularly, I can improve my communication skills. If you get to some of my videos in the beginning of this YouTube channel, you can see that I was very much worse 1 year ago than I am today. So I believe that if I keep doing that, if I keep talking to people, in 5 years I will be much more better than I am today. So when you are in a selection, or when you are in an interview and you are not familiar with this kind of subject, you get very stressful. Your heart beats very, very fast, because you are nervous because of a situation that you are not familiar with. And once you start developing, you lose the afraid of people judgment, you lose the afraid of being talking to public. You get better on that, and you have it's easier to you to share your expertise, your ideas, and your arguments to the recruiter, to your boss, or to a class with students, or with people in the internet. So don't lose this tip. I hope that you understand what I'm talking about, because this way you will avoid many challenges in your career. Okay, let me take a look in the comments. Today I wish that it is very collaborative. I would like to listen to you. Okay, and I am here today to answer as many questions as I can. So Shivan, thanks for the happy birthday, Shivan. What are the top skills every chemical engineering student should have? I will talk about it today, Shivan, and one of them is invest in oratory. Okay, so Mauricio Alemán, hello Jefferson from Peru. Nice. Peru is very nice place. I have been in Miraflores for at least 3 to 4 months, and I really liked the Peruvian people. How can a chemical process engineer become good process engineer? That's a very good question also, Shivan, and it is in one of the topics here that I have to share with you. So guys, as I told you, I finished my graduation, I didn't have a job, and because of that, I expended around 2 years to get my first job as a chemical process engineer. And although some people say that we need to go to operations, to go to plant design after that, in fact, my first job as a chemical process engineer was in plant design, and it was a very interesting situation. Of course, that I was at the right place at the right time with the right experience or with the right requirements, but it was something like this. I left the city that I lived with my wife. This time I was already married with my wife, and to get an opportunity to go to get a job, I needed to leave the town that I was living for. And I did that because in Rio de Janeiro, where I was born and where I live currently during the recording of this video, it was a time for many projects, and the oil and gas industry was growing up on that time. So the thought was, I need to go where the job is. As I told you, I was very difficult with communication, so I didn't get any position where I was living. So in a town that is increasing the economy, where people are hiring engineers, the chances to get a job instead of my deficit in communication should be greater. So I went to Rio de Janeiro, and I lived alone around 2 months, distributing my CV, going to some interviews, but without getting any kind of opportunity. But there was a time I was going to an interview. I don't remember the company that I was going to do an interview, and during when I was in a train here in the public transportation, we use bus, we use a train. So from where I live to the city, to the town, is around 1 hour with train. So I was in a train, and I received a call from a friend of my father telling me to go to a address to have an interview because they were looking for a chemical process engineer. So I said, okay. And he said, but you need to go today because the guy needs someone, and you need to go today, do what you need to do to be there to talk with the Mr. Falcão. It was the interview on that opportunity. So I said, okay, I'm going to an interview, and after the interview, I will go to the address that you suggest me, or that you recommend me. So I did. I went to the interview. I had the interview. I think that the woman asked about my English, so I was not so confident about my English. I said that I need to practice more, and in the end, I lost that opportunity also. But I went to Mr. Falcão office to talk about the opportunity that he had to a chemical process engineer. And what was happening is that this design company was in a EPC joint venture with a construction company, and they were developing the revamp of a polypropylene plant in Duque de Caxias here in Rio de Janeiro. And as the company, the Mr. Falcão company, didn't had expertise in EPC or industrial facilities. The core business of the Mr. Falcão company was doing hydroelectrics for producing electricity, not doing polypropylene plants hydrogen plants, or any kind of oil and gas or petrochemical, chemical facilities. They didn't have this kind of expertise. And during the contract, it was said to the customer that they would have to support the EPC company two professionals, one junior engineer because it's very common to have a junior engineer to do the hard work, to do the handwork of the project, and to have a senior engineer because the senior engineer know the strategies, they have more experience and can anticipate what will be wrong or not, and etc. So the Mr. Falcon said to me something like this: please go here tomorrow morning, because the customer representative will be here tomorrow morning, and I need to show to him one chemical process engineer. If you don't like the job and if you don't want to participate in this project, no problem. But at least tomorrow morning, I need someone to show to him. Please go here, and after that, we can talk about salary, we can talk about what is the job and etc. But please be here tomorrow morning. So of course that it was a very, very good opportunity. I didn't get any job as a chemical process engineer, and I would be for him. I would go there for free for sure, because what I was looking for in the earlier stages of my career was about experience. I never thought about salary, although I already had a wife to support. I didn't have had kids, but it is very, very important to you understand that the earlier stages of your career, you should look for experience and opportunities to grow your knowledge in the field that you want to work with. So I went there in the tomorrow morning. I was there for sure, and the customer representative, it's a person that I admire a lot. Today we still have some kind of connection, but we don't talk too much, but I still admire him. It's Joaquim Marx. He has a water treatment company, and he shares his experience and his business in the LinkedIn. So if you are interested in water treatment, reverses, osmosis, and etc., it's interesting to follow his content. And he was there. He looked at me, did the greetings and etc. And I was not familiar with pipe instrumentation diagram. In fact, I didn't remember of watching or using that in my graduation in the university. And one of my first tasks during that week was to verify, to do a cross-check between the instrument list, line list, and also the pipe instrumentation diagram. That it was the first task that I should do. And instead of being there only one day, he would expend the full week verifying what were doing in the EPC company. So that was frightening, because my first job, I didn't know how to do things, and I was the EPC representative for chemical process engineering. And also another curiosity, I was the first and the last one chemical process engineer for this EPC company. And the tasks would be get the instrumentation list, as I told you, and verify if in the PNID, if I have a PI, a pressure indicator, I should check it in the pipe instrumentation diagram and check it in the instrument list. So what happened is, to do that, there is a kind of procedure, because how can I make sure that I already verified something that I already checked, right? So this way he got a yellow pencil or pen. I don't know. I never sure how if it's pencil or pen. So I use uh, one like this, and he told me he did this kind of question. Jefferson, do you know how to work with pens to verify? No. Jefferson, do you know how to work with pens? And in my Navy, I said, yes, I used them in my shield garden years. I think is it in the pre-scholar years I used them. So he laughed a lot, and no, I'm not talking about that. You need to look for the drawing in the pipe instrumentation diagram. You will cover with the yellow pen, and you will verify in the instrument list if you have that, and you will cover or highlight with the yellow pen also. So this is the work that you need to do here, okay? So I got that, and I started doing my work. So it's something interesting to me during my early stages is that you can, it's something, it's a work that I could do alone. I didn't need, once he gave me the instruction, I didn't need to talk to people. So it was very, very easy to me to do that because I just needed to have concentration. And so after that, of course, I accepted the challenge of being the chemical process engineer, and the days passed on, and they never hired the senior engineer. And in the end, I was the junior engineer, and the senior engineer represented the EPC company. And because of very lot of trouble that the project was having, we were dislocated, we were relocated to the customers office. So it was a polypropylene plant. It had the administrative office, and there was a space there to accommodate the EPC company, the EPC workers, to develop the project inside the facility. It was not the first idea of the project. Often what happens is that the EPC company get the works to be done in their office, but because of these a lot of troubles, and because of the verification that the customer would like to have with the job, we were invited inter parentheses, we were invited to develop the job there. And that was very, very good to me as a chemical process engineer, because there I found another friend, another person that I really, really admires. And this one, I still have constant contact with him. I already interviewed him in my YouTube channel. That is Mr. Robert Teixeira. Mr. Robert Teixeira was starting his career also as a chemical process engineer, although he already had experience as a technician for petrochemical industry. And as we did a good partnership, he was supporting as per the customer side the project. I learned a lot with him, and this is something that is very, very important to understand, that it's very, very important to have people to support you during your journey. And you will only be able to have this kind of people supporting you if you build a relationship, if you build connection with people. Because if I don't like to work with you, although I can work with you, I will not teach you anything. I will not share my experience with you. And You don't need necessarily to be friends of your colleagues or of the employees of your company, but building relationship, it will be much more easy to you get experience from other people, and it leads to the second. It's not strictly related, but it leads to the second topic that I would like to have to be familiar with this in my early stages, although I did it instinctively, is about how to apply marketing to my life. And when I talk about marketing, if you are thinking about selling products, you are totally wrong. Marketing is related to how to use persuasion, how to use your influence and your communication to get connection with people. People buy things that they are connected to or things that they really needs for their life. But think about me, you have iOS, you have Android, and what are your decision to have the newest Android, the newest iOS? So market is about it to show to people what you have best to share with them. So it's something that, of course, I am studying more these days, because to have more interesting videos to you, to have to promote my trainings program, to promote my mentoring program or my high C's training program, I need to be able to create a link with you, to create connections, to show the correct way how things happens and etc. So although I am talking about selling products, you as a chemical process engineer, you are product, and you need to know how to sell you. And that is related to communication, because if you don't know how to express yourself to people, how to in an interview build a connection with your interviewer, the chances are, if someone in the list of candidates are able to do that, you will lose the opportunity. And when we are in the graduation, when we are mainly in the graduation, we are very worried about calculations. And in fact, what we do in the real life is solving problems. Depending on the country, we have some kind of tests and written tests to pass. Of course, that you need to know how to do the calculations, how to interpret the results. But once it's a minimum, it's the minimum requirements. Of course, that if I want to hire a chemical process engineer, he or she must know what is the dew point, what is the bubble point. Of course, it's everyone must know that. If you do chemical process engineering, it's an obligation to you know that. But I'm talking about you be far away from the average. In the average, everyone knows it, because everyone learns the same thing in the university. Especially if we are talking about only your city or your state or your country, every chemical engineer in the same country will learn the same basis for complete the graduation. But not all of them will learn about marketing. They will not understand what kind, if you go to an interview, what kind of questions or what kind of behavior it's an indication that you are doing good, or if you are not doing good. What kind of attitudes you should do to increase the chances to connect with people. So that is something that for sure I would like to have learned how important and how to apply that to my life 10 years ago. Because if I have it done this way, for sure many more people would know me currently in the internet. Okay, so up to this point we have covered two main topics that I would like to, and that I recommend you to look for: oratory and communication, how to express yourself to people, and now marketing, because markets is associated with persuasion, with influence, connection, how show things in the correct way, and etc. So any other question for a while? Guys, let me know your questions, because today it's a very special day, okay? Akshay, thanks for the wishes. And Sampath, thanks for the wishes. You are always very, very welcome here today. So, after I spent 3 years in this company, in the end of the project, I was asked by the customer to integrate the small engineering team that the company has. And when you are in a design department that is inside of a production company, you will learn that what really matters for the company is the production, not the design. And it is very, very important to you understand that a production company lives off selling products and not lives from selling projects. Okay, so sometimes there are some kind of rivalry between the guys that works with design and the guys that works with operations, because in many cases they don't understand the roles of each one. And of course that we should work together. And as a chemical process engineer in design, you should understand the needs and the challenges of the operations, because the books, the calculations, as we say here in Brazil, the paper accepts everything if you use the correct, if you use some kinds of assumptions, it accepts everything. But in the field is where the real life happens. And because of that, do not ignore what happens in the field. Even though you are in a design company, but you don't have, you are not inside a facility, every time that you have the opportunity to talk to operations is very, very important to you listen more than you speak. So do questions, as more questions you have and good questions you have, more good answers you will have. And with that you will understand that the challenges and what the customer really needs to you support them. And talking about that, I have, for instance, a curiosity with you. I participated in a review of a project where we were facing problems with hydrating formation in a depressurization system. And in this system, it was an update system from an existing one. The plant already had a depressurization system, but to improve the capacity, the company, the design team was developing a new one. And in this new system that was built had faced some issue with hydrating formation, because the team didn't have time, or for some reason don't verify what was the needs or what was the challenge that the operations had. In the beginning of these operations, the pressurization system that they had was the same kind of process that we developed. I say the design team, I was not at the company at that time. And to solve the the hydrate problem, what they did was get the heat exchanger that they had and split the flow in order that before doing the first depressurization, they heat up the gas, and the hydrates, it's a matter of water content, pressure, and temperature. Depending on the conditions for these three variables, you can have the hydrate, and hydrate is a mess because it decreases the flow, it can block the production, and in the end, what matters for the company is that we can lose a lot of money because of not supplying the product for the customer. So they did adaptation for the process in order to do this preheating of the gas, and with that they avoided of having the hydrate. And although the design team was not aware of that, it was a new team, it was not familiar with this kind of process, but if they had worked with operations and understood what was the operations needs and challenges that they already have, this kind of mistake or misunderstanding would be avoided, and now I wouldn't be adding a new heat exchanger to the process. So it is very, very important to learn from the operations problems. Another example that I can give you that is very, very interesting. It's acceptable in the paper, but in the real life it was a mess. I worked in a liquid CO2 project, and we had 500 tons storage tank, and just below in the bottom of the tank we need to have isolation valve. So this kind of tanks, we have some supportation, 2 meters support, and we install the tank something like this. So we have the tank here, and we have the support, and the pipeline to withdraw the liquid goes below to go to the pumps. So it's something like this. So we have here a vertical part and a curve, and we have the horizontal part to go to the pumps. And what happened was that the pipe designer, it was an isolation valve. I think that was around 80 inches pipe size, and it was a ball valve, 80 inches ball valve. And what happened is that the isolation valve, instead of being installed in the horizontal part, it was installed in the vertical part. So what is the matter about it? The matter is that the full weight of the liquid was doing forces in the ball valve. And of course that we filled the storage tank with the ball valve closed, and when it was in the half of the storage, we needed to open the ball valve. And because of the weight of the liquid, it was very, very difficult to do that. And as you can see, I am not strong, I am very, very thin, and I was not able to do that. And the operator, a very, very strong guy, was not able to do that also. And it was during a weekend, and I talked to operations, and they said to me, don't worry, Monday morning it will be solved. So we use a bar, a steel bar, and that's not broken, but we curved that with the force that was trying to do. And as it was also a cryogenic liquid, it could have some kind of for ice formation inside the valve and etc. So it was a mess, and it was a mess because the installation of the valve was not in the best position. If I had the valve in the horizontal position, the force in this valve would be much more smaller. It would be smaller because now I don't have the effects of the gravity in the mechanism for rotating the valve. I would have only the only the lateral force on that. And that's why it's very interesting to me working with fields application. And I learned that from that point. I learned how important is the road of the pipes, or how important is the position of each valve to be installed in the field, because it's in the field that problems happens. And when we are restricted to the offs, only to the offs, we don't learn this kind of things. So that's why it's very important to talk with operation, especially if you don't have access to the field. I have to you another example. Let me see here in the comments. I have some comments here. In the iliac Akshay Patil, in the iliac stage, how to build connection? Very nice question, Akshay. I will answer that. Cassie, when you mention about communication, does it include participating more in social media? Companies look for engaging engineering in social media. That's something I am terrible at. Okay, I will answer that. How can we use digital media effectively? What things we should upload on LinkedIn, or what should one avoid? I will answer these questions to you. So just let me give you the last example related to know the problems that happens in the field and how to avoid that in the plant design. I participated in a commissioning of a liquid nitrogen storage tank, and what happened is that it was supposed to be dry. When we are putting cryogenic liquid or cryogenic fluids inside equipment, you must make sure that it's dry to avoid any kind of ice formation, and the ice formation can plug the taps, can plug the pipes, and etc. But when we started doing, first that it was supposed to start the procedure at 1 p.m. and the truck arrived only midnight on that day. So I was very tired. The team was me was very tired. But in any case, we start the operations. It's for us the first error. We should, what is important, you should not be tired. You should, when possible, starting your activities at the morning to have all the day to solve problems. Avoid to do that during the nightfall. And when you start filling with cryogenic liquid, the tabs, we need to remove the tabs to the air inside the storage tank be withdrawn. And there was a lot of liquids coming out from the storage tank. It was not dry. The people maybe did the hydrostatic test and didn't drain the tank. And what I observed is that there was not a drain at the bottom of the tank. There was not a drain in the project, and because of that, I was not able to drain fast the liquid from this equipment. And because of that, it was a mess, and we frozen all the connections, and we lost a lot of product because that. Okay, so you can learn a lot from the field if you participate in commissioning, in startup, and if you are not able to do that, if you listen to operations. Now talking about the communication, Akshay, in my point of view, what to build connections is about building relationship with people. Okay, not all people you will be the best friends forever, but if you treat them with education, if you learn a minimum of interest on the likes and dislikes on their behaviors, the chances to have a good relationship with people increases a lot. And one of the, if people asked me a book to talk about that, I can recommend you How to Influence People and Make Friends from Dale Carnegie. In the summary is, people like to be listened to. They like to listen about themselves, and if you are able to listen to them, the chances are that they will like you more. This is the summary, okay? Of course, that there are more about behind it, but when I talking about one-on-one, when I talk about a colleague in my job, it is. So observe if you go to the lunch, it is very common when we are talking about facilities. We have a refectory and everyone eats at the same plates. If you are the people that talks more in the table, the chances for constructive communication is not the best. You should be the person or the person that asks good questions while people is talking about themselves, about a situation, about an event. So it shows that you are getting attention about what they are talking to, and they will understand that you are interested on their sayings, and the chance to remember about you in a good feeling, in a good way, is increases a lot. Okay, Akshay? So building connections for me is be able to listen to people with attention and have good questions related to what they are talking about, in order that they observe that you are interested on that. It's the kind of thing that you and Cassie is doing here. You are in my live session, and you are participating, doing questions related to the topic. So the chances is that I will remember you easily if I see a post of you in the LinkedIn, or if I see you in the Facebook or Instagram, from if compared to a person that doesn't interact with me during the live sessions. Okay? And Cassie, about the communication in social media. Yes, it's part of the communication is in the social media also. I cannot say if the companies are looking for engaging engineers in the social media, but what I can talk to you is, since I started sharing my experience in the LinkedIn, the invitations for a job interview increased. Okay, and the invitation for doing service for people that I already know from my previous jobs increased also. And for instance, my current job, I work in an energy company, and my boss, current boss, right? I don't know why, which reason? Because he already had my WhatsApp number. He asked, he did me the invitation to go to the job interview by LinkedIn. And why he did that? Because he have seen me in the LinkedIn all the time doing a lot of posts talking about my expertise and etc. So the easiest way to he talks to me was the LinkedIn. These days, a friend of a friend of my previous job, and I say friends because I like to do connections with people. I still do connections with my students. It's very, very nice when I able to do that. Talked to me about some extra service, and why he did that? Because all the time I am in the LinkedIn, all the time I am Facebook, all the time I am in the Instagram, sharing my connection, my message. And it is related to communication, and it is related to marketing, because both of them works together, okay? You are not able to do marketing if you don't understand about the communication, because you need to communicate your message for people. And what kind of communication I recommend you to do in social media is something related to you, to what you want to work to. If you want in a laboratory and you want to get opportunities in laboratory jobs, talks about the fundamentals about, I don't know, how to do analysis, biogas analysis, natural gas analysis, what is chromatography important for, which kind of behaviors has in chromatography, and etc. So I do this in plan design. I share with people what I know about plan design. Some things I don't know too much. I research to be able to not give incorrect information. And in my point of view, the most important part is to not give incorrect information. If people will like, if people will not like, if people will criticize you, it's not important, because people don't pay your bills. The only worry is about the accuracy of the information, because I have been sharing so not too accurate information, and of course that happens, especially when we are doing live sessions, when it's spontaneous. But if you have time to write, if you eventually will record a video, you can during the edition you can fix that and try to avoid this kind of issue. Okay, and in my point of view, imagine this: you have a lot of candidates. You have 10 candidates for a chemical process engineer position, and only one candidate you see regularly in the internet. And I'm not telling you to do this every day. You can start with one post per week. It's enough. And if you can do 2 posts per week, it's sufficient. So you are in 10 candidates, and one of them you already know, because you regularly see the candidates sharing information in the internet, and you like the kind of information that he or she shares in the internet. They have some going points of view. Or if you don't don't do posts, but you do good questions related to posts of others, and it is related to communication, to show that you are getting attention to the talking. The chances are, and if you have a good communication oratory, the chances are that you are highlighted from the other ones. So that's the point. Okay, when you share your experience in the internet, you have thousands of people that do the same thing, but you have very, very small percentage of people that do different things. So that is the point about marketing, that's the point about the communication, and that is the point of sharing or posting useful content in the social media. Okay, guys? So we covered 2 talks here, and so it will take much more time than I expected to, but I will go until the end, and after that I will do some preparations here. Today we will do a barbecue. I will do barbecue to celebrate my birthday with my family, and I cannot invite you, but I can give it to you my knowledge and the expertise as a gift for you. Okay, so that is the reason of this special live session, and I taking more time than expected because it's not a regular day. So an important part of my life, and that I am talking to you today, is because I was already hired. I was working as a chemical process engineer for around 7 years, and in my company I was around 6 years, and I felt that I was stagnated there, and I was always very committed to my work. For me, it's easy to work more than 80 hours. Sometimes I work 15 hours straight doing my work. It's easy for me because I like what I do. And there was more than one time that I slept in the car in the facilities garage where we put the visit cars there to save time, to be earlier in the facility during commissioning, startup, and because to avoid the risks of sleep during the drive to the hotel. And although I did all of this, I didn't get I was not financially rewarded by that in my company. And for 5 years, without any kind of financial rewarding, I get frustrated. I get not so motivated about the company, and because of that, I'm not so sure if it was only because of that, but I was looking for ways to give up from being a chemical process engineer. It was around 2017, and because of that, I'm not so sure. I get involved. I was very, very unsatisfied. The truth was that I was very, very unsatisfied, and to solve my insatisfaction, I starting studying to be a lawyer. Maybe you already have listened to this, maybe not, but I consider to be a lawyer, and the fact is, if I have shift from engineer to a lawyer, if I didn't understood what I know today, probably I would be insatisfied as a lawyer also. And the point here is that it's very my point of view, it's very, very important that you understand how important is the personal development is to you. Personal development, and here in Brazil we talk about autoajuda, or I don't know if it has this meaning in English, but self-helping literature. There are people that don't like this kind of reading, but let me say that it is very, very important to you be familiar with that, because when you study personal development, you understand that the responsibilities of your results is yours and not from others. You are able to set goals to reach to get your results that you desire. You are able to understand better your behavior, and what kind of thing you can do to lapidate you from to be a diamond. So I get in this universe in 2017, and that opens my mind a lot. It's opened my mind a lot because if I was not having the financial result that I want to in the company, although my commitment, it's because my attitudes, because my behaviors, because my responsibility, and not because my boss. And when I understood that, I started doing a plan to solve this. And when I got in touch with the marketing, and it was when I got in touch with sellings and connections. I already understood about that, but the importance of marketing gets this way. And and why I recommend you to do that? Because when you learn about personal development, you understand that you can live your life better with what you already have, but it's possible to get a better life if you have a plan and you execute your plan with persistence and patience and insistence. So so that's what was I reflecting about it these days. And one of the reasons that I share my experience in the internet is for sure to build a legacy. I am in the age. I am 41 today, and maybe I have more 40 years. And I want to, because of the internet, it's easier to let people remember you for a more longer time than only your child, your grandchild, and that is one reason because of doing that. But I realized that maybe the real reason that I started doing that was to show people, and I was already fired. Okay, I was fired in this job that I was 5 years without financial increasing. To show people that was a mistake they fire me. I was thinking about that. Maybe it was it that stopped that start my journey as a chemical process engineer, plan design in the internet. And you will only understand that if you are good with yourself, if you look inside and verify what are the issues that challenge you, what are the issues that stop you from being better. And that is something for sure. If I know that, if I knew that 10 years later, I would have a totally kind behavior related to how to do my job, how to show my results in my job, because you can be the best person of the world doing process simulation, plan design, but if people don't know you, it don't have to. You will still depends on your boss to get recognized or knowledge by that. So when you do something to avoid this kind of situation, to be immune, not immune, but to have people watching you. If you lose a job here, you get another job there. If you have connections, people will help you to get another job. So all of this is connected. Although I'm talking about 5 topics, all of this is connected, okay? And I didn't talk about the technical part yet. I will talk. It's very, very important. But technical part alone, it's not enough to you build a successful career. And another point that I would like to add about that is that it's not easy. It seems to be easy to me here to be the internet, talk to you, and now I'm doing 2 live sessions per week. It seems to be easy, but it's not easy because there are a lot of pressure around me. Of course, that the time that I am here with you, it's a Saturday morning. I am already 1 hour talk to you. It's my birthday, and I am not with my wife. I should be with my wife, and there are a lot of pressure to. I could just avoid ignore today. I don't say anything, and it's my birthday. I will not expend my time with people in the internet because I don't gain anything with that, and let me get my birthday. That's better for me. But when you understand you deeply, and you have a goal to reach, you understand that you need to do what must be done, and you need to support the stress that must be supported. That's the point here. When you learn more about personal development, you learn that all the results that you have in your life depends only about you. If you have a wife or a husband that not supports you, it's because you choose that. It's because there are something inside you that attract that kind of people to your life. And if you don't like your job and you still there is a reason for that. And if you still there complain, you will be there complain all your life without any results, because you don't have the courage to take another step and look for others opportunities. So that's the kind of wisdom, and I say that it's a wisdom that you learn when you look for personal development, and you understand that, and you bring that to your daily life. Okay, because it's not about reading, it's about learning. And reading and learning is totally different. The learning is when you read something and apply in the practice in your real life. So I hope that all my videos here in the internet, in the social media, you are learning from that, not only watching. Okay, because it's totally different. So it's something that changed my mind, and that's why I am here with you today, is because the personal development. I can suggest you some books. People like that I suggest books sometimes, and Tony Robbins is for sure one of my references. I read the 2 books that he has, is the Giant Within, and how to awaken the giant within, and Unlimited Power is the both books that I have read, and they are in my bookshelf here, there. And I recommend you. There are some free content in the internet, and one of them is related to Bobby Proctor. I recommend you to get his webinar for free. He has a ebook also there, and audiobook also. And so there is no excuses to improve yourself as a person if you want to. Okay, so this is it. And now talking about technical, and I had a question here. How can a chemical engineer become a good process engineer? And that is something that I got some time to understand. Now I believe that I understand better, and is reading papers in technical magazines. As I told you, I was living, before I shifted my mindset, I was living in the automatic, in the autopilot, as many of us lives our lives. I wake up, I spend 2 hours going to my job, and working 80, 90 hours per day, and return to my house to taking 2 more 2 hours of of transportation and talking to my wife, playing video game, watching anime, and sleeping. And that was for many years, many years, it was my routine. And I expand, it is for me to read, although I am stand up, if I am in a bus or in a train, I am able to read in any kind of situation. Any kind, no, but most of the situation I am able to read. And during this period, 6 to 7 years, I read, but I read a lot of romances, like when I say romances, a Lord of the Rings, Narnia, fantasy. I read a lot fantasy during these years. And what I would like to understand 10 years ago is that I should save more time to expand with technical reading. But reading books, in fact, reading books it's tough to read a book. To get a book in read, it's not it's not a pleasure in many cases, because we have calculations, we have formulas, equations, a lot of things, and it's something that you need to stop to do. But magazines and papers, I think that is possible to do that, because the first thing about papers is that you can get a summarization or a summary of a process. For instance, these days I was learning about water scrubbing, and I already work with that. We need that to get the purity of biomethane, biogas into biomethane, and it was not easy to find books to talk about that. And so I look for papers. Currently, I look first for papers, and there was summary. There was the key points related to what should be evaluated during the process simulation. There was process flow diagrams that I was able to replicate or to create in the Aspen High Seas. And now I have the hydrocarbon magazine here. I'm reading at least one article per week to improve my knowledge related to technical skills. So what I recommend you to be technically be a good process engineer is to you save time to read papers and to read technical magazines. About technical magazines, you can find at least 5. I suggest you 5 here in my YouTube channel. You have a video for that. And about papers, you look in Google. And for instance, I want to know, these days I was searching about, I have seen a question here about LNG, but these days I was looking for liquid hydrogen production. So I look for papers, and I got 2-3 papers that with the reading I was able to understand better and to simulate that on Aspen High Seas. And once you get familiar with papers, you understand what is good, what is not. For me, if you show the results but you don't show the data, it's something is strange, or something is not so right in the paper. So, but the meaning is that papers can give you a fast learning about process than books. Of course, that books is important, but if you want to fast your knowledge, I think that papers will help you a lot. Diego, would you plan to do any video on model LNG production in Aspen High Seas? Let's see what the future reserved to us. Diego, currently LNG production I cover in my Aspen High Seas training program, okay? And I don't know if when I will talk about it in the YouTube, but probably at least an overview I will do as I did with the water scrubbing. I think that that kind of video is very, very nice for people that is not familiar with the process. Cassia, can you recommend some of these technical magazines books? So about technical magazines, hydrocarbon processing is very, very nice. There are others, PTC, but if you go to the list here in the YouTube channel, you will see 5 magazines that I recommend you or that I recommend to every chemical process engineer. Okay, Cassie, I think it's 5, but there are more than 5 there. It's 80 or something like that. About the books, there are some books that I really recommend, and one I forget. Let me see here if I have the name. Just a moment. There is a book that is very, very good, that because it talks about the equipment design, but it shows how to do the calculations also. And in fact, there are 2 books that I think that is very, very important to chemical process engineers. The first one, if we are talking about gas processing, is the GPSA electronic data book, I think. This is from a GPSA publication, and it gives you the theory, gives you the calculations, and with that you can correlationate both of them. It's very, very good. And there are a book that I forgot the name and the author, that is the same way. One completes the other. Okay. Sorry, I don't have the name right now. Hi, Tonton from Italy. Nice to have you here. So this is it, guys. And the last topic now, it's just to summarize everything that I have talked to you up to this point. I would like to know 10 years later how important is to use the internet to let people know that you exist. And you can see that everything is correlated, right? Because to talk to people in the internet, what I need to know about communication, how important is communication, how to communicate with people. I need to know about marketing, because it's not only about posting something. For instance, every time that I post something written in the LinkedIn, I always I always add a photo also, a picture also, because it increases the views. Okay, so it's related to marketing. And also I talk about read technical papers in magazines, because you need to have a strong knowledge to be able to share your knowledge with people. And although I know some topics, I am always learning and reviewing what I already know. And with the time, with the experience, if you get more involved with the subjects, you will improve your skills faster. As I told you, I spend too much time only reading not related technical reading. And most of my first phase of my career, I learned on the job. If I understood that it would be possible to learn from papers and magazines, I would have shortened my knowledge a lot. And all of that was only possible to understand once I get in touch with personal development. So I started building a plan, I verify what was my leakage, what was my inefficiencies, and because of that I was able to start looking for sources of information to fill me with better information and to be able to transmit that to people. And all of that in conjunction together. If I just keep that for me, for my wife, for my friends, for my boss, people will not know me. I would not have known known by my expertise around the world. Today I have students from Mexico, Italy, Germany, Brazil, India, Singapore, Philippines. I think there is a Chinese also, Australia. And all of that is possible because I had the courage to expose myself to people in the internet. So that is something for sure that if I understood that all of these 10 years ago, today, instead of having almost 100 students under my supervision, I would have for sure probably 1,000 or more than that. And my work is to, in the next years, improve the numbers of students that I have under my supervision. And my target, my goal is to have 1,000 students per year in my trainings program. I have two programs currently. I have the mentoring that I will open seats only one time per year, and I have the Aspen High Seas for applied plan design. And I am doing some revision, and I will open few seats in the next weeks. But everything has to be able to reach that. I need to master, or I need to learn more and more about all of the topics that I'm sharing here with you today. Okay, guys. So I talked a lot. As everyone, I like to be listened to. And if you have questions, please share with me. We have some minutes. My wife went to the town to buy a cake for me, a birthday cake, and we can talk a little bit more here. Okay. It's interesting that probably 95% of the people that get in touch with this video will not go up to the end of this video, because they are looking for easy path or easy shortcuts. And if you understand that the shortcut is not what will give you the best results, you will change the way how you see life. Okay, so this is it. Can you clarify, can we use simulation of hot art kiln in Aspen Plus? Kartik, for Aspen Plus, I recommend you to look for the chemical engineering guy content. Emmanuel Ortega is very, very good with Aspen Plus, and he has a lot of content. Although I know a little bit about Aspen Plus, and I am planning to add that to my training programs as a bonus, I am not so skilled as Emmanuel Ortega. So you can look for the Chemical Engineering Guy YouTube, okay? And the other thing is hot art kiln. I don't know what is it, okay? I'm not familiar with that. My expertise is with oil and gas, and also with industrial gases like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen production using cryogenics, steam methane reformer to produce hydrogen from natural gas, and etc. And if I can recommend you to a suggestion is look for papers. Type hot art kiln and high seas or Aspen Plus in the YouTube, in the Google, and verify which kind of results if you get. Okay, it's the fastest way to learn if you are able to do that. Guys, thanks a lot for being here with me. today I'm not accessing my LinkedIn because I receive a lot of message there, and I will thank you, all of you, that getting some time to wish me happy birthday on Monday, and I will share regularly what I'm doing currently in this right now. Is every Tuesday I share with you the chemical process engineer diary. In this series, I share with you, I answer some questions and some daily activities that I have during the week. So you can participate in live using the Instagram and also the YouTube channel. And every Saturday, normally 9 a.m. Brazil local time, I have a more specific subject to talk to you. And today was about this special subject to celebrate 1 year of my YouTube channel having constant content. This page was created on December 2017, but only on the February 2020 that I was able to frequently or to constantly adding content to that. So that's why I decided that today is the celebration day. Not familiar with that. Thanks, Akshay. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah. I'm not familiar with rotary kiln, and I'm not familiar with the cement industry, okay? So sorry, I will not able to help you this time. And so guys, this is it. I hope you like it, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.